Hi, I'm Justin Schwartz, and I'm in the middle of a What's going on, everybody? Justin Schwartz here, content director of the DJs Guru, coming at you as always from the DJs Guru studio, and today we're going to be giving you a review on the Denon DJ Prime Go, the world's first battery-powered, full-featured DJ controller. And if you don't believe me, I have nothing plugged in here, holding it like this, very simply. We got music. Gotta love it. So, before we get into it, I want to remind everybody, if you're enjoying this content, we always appreciate if you subscribe to our channel. If you like the video, please give it a like. And if you have any questions on the Prime Go, on anything from Denon or DJ gear, performance gear in general, please drop them down in the comment section below, and we'll be happy to answer them for you. So let's dive into the Prime Go. We'll go over a little bit of the specs for you first, give you an idea of what we're working with here. So this is a standalone, completely standalone, 2-channel DJ controller. When I say completely standalone, I mean that it works only with a USB thumb drive or an SD card with the included Engine OS operating system that's built in. So not only is this a DJ controller with a battery built in, and yes, by the way, you can plug it in and let it run all day, but if you're running it as a battery, it does have the 4-hour battery life. But not only is it those things, it's also a computer. So this is a self-sustaining system. Everything is built into it. So if you're looking at a DJ controller as a starter, this is actually a great starter controller because you don't need to buy anything else. You can use it with just the music you already have. So that's something that I really do love about it. But we'll dive into the specs now. As I mentioned, we have the 4-hour battery. We have the 2 channels built in here with a 3-band EQ, separate gain controls. You have Wi-Fi built in for streaming. So right now I'm connected to the home internet, and then I'm able to stream using Tidal, Beatport link, and I think also SoundCloud has a service as well that links up to this. So I've actually used the Beatport link already. It's like a godsend when I'm mixing from home, and for a flat monthly fee, I'm able to just get everything on Beatport and just be able to play it whenever I want to when I'm here on Wi-Fi, you know? So that's an awesome feature. I've already used it. I really do love it. You got 7-inch touch-sensitive jog wheels, and these are scratchable. You can definitely scratch with them. I'm not a great scratcher, but as you see here, very simply to scratch, and it's very accurate, no latency. You know, they're 7 inches, a little bit smaller than what you're probably used to, but definitely have a good feel to them, and they're very solid. So if you're a scratching DJ, open format, you know, if that's part of what you do, this is definitely not going to stop you from doing that. That's for sure. The other thing that it has is stage link for integration with sound switch. So if you use sound switch, believe it or not, there's an output that'll directly connect to your computer, which will work and integrate any Prime Engine OS program software, especially including the Prime Go, and actually coordinate everything, your lighting with your music, which is also very cool. So that's another filter built in, and you got dual XLR microphone inputs as well as XLR main outputs balanced, and then you have 3 other outputs, RCA 1/4 inch for booth, zone, and then another auxiliary RCA output. So a lot of different variations in how you can use this with outputs and a lot of applications. So those are the features, and let's talk about some of the things that we can do with it. Okay, so this is the Denon Prime Go on. Quite simply, it operates as a standalone system, primarily and only being used with the engine operating system, which is a self-sustaining ecosystem. It's constantly being updated, being made better, and I actually have grown to really like it since I've been using this so far. So basically everything is going to be connected in by either an SD card or USB thumb drive, very simply like that. You bring up your music and then you select the track, choose which one that you want to put it into, real easy, 1 and 2, and then you have essentially almost every single type of feature and or bell and whistle that you would be looking for in a DJ controller. So you have a wet, dry sweep effect. You have 4 sample banks for hot cues, loops, roll, and bank. Now, due to the footprint and the size of this unit, they did need to keep the footprint smaller. So normally you're used to seeing your 3-band EQs going vertically. These are actually horizontal along with your gain here. And then you actually have an assignable FX control and an FX parameter control here to go on both channels. So you also have full additional effects built into this, which is pretty cool. So everything that you really need to do a party, to do an event, to do a ceremony, cocktail hour, whatever the case may be, a party with friends. I mean, there's so many different uses for this thing, and you know, it's everything built in one, which to me is the best part about it. What's really cool is you have horizontal and you have vertical wave grids. So no matter what you're used to, it has both covered for you in the engine operating system, as you can see here. And again, this is an ecosystem that's forever changing. So as things get updated, you get a free download for the lifetime that you have the product. If we take a look at the back of the unit, we can see that this is not a, you know, starter controller. This is a controller that has robust inputs. It has a good amount of them, and it's going to allow you to do professional events with multiple uses and activities going on at the same time. So of course you have balanced XLR outputs along with an unbalanced RCA, and also a booth and an auxiliary output, which is very good to know if you have a videographer, a photographer, somebody that needs to run a line, you know, during those ceremonies and PA situations. It also has 2 microphone inputs, XLR and 1/4 inch. So that's a big thing too. There's so many controllers nowadays that are even more expensive than this, that are not battery powered, that don't have 2 XLR mic inputs that are dedicated. So this is an important feature to understand. And then of course you have your power button. You have your link, which is actually going to allow you to link out to sound switch, which is something else we'll talk about at another time. And then you have your USB media input and your USB-B input as well. Okay, so one thing I did want to point out, one of the minor negatives here that I found with the Prime Go is you're going to definitely need some kind of anti-glare screen protector to go over there, because it definitely is a little difficult to see outside. Little difficult is probably saying it nicely. So definitely considering that many people will be using these outdoors, cocktail ceremony, things like that. Definitely something to just know before if you're going to buy it, and just make sure you have an anti-glare film that's going to go over that. That will help out, and not a big deal, but just wanted to point that out. All right, we're going to do a little battery test on this. It is 1:12 right now. I have a full charge. We are told that it can get 4 hours conservatively. Let's see what I'm able to get out of this, and we'll let you know. So we'll be back and we'll let you know exactly how much time we got out of this Prime Go battery. And our warning light is coming on. We are over 4 hours and we're still going, but 4+ hours is definitely true on the Prime Go. Over 4 hours. We proved it. The last thing I wanted to just mention were cases. I chose a Magma Control Case XL2, which fit really nicely. It gave me a little bit of room in there for some other stuff, and that worked really well. The whole idea, I think, of this thing is to keep it small, compact, and I kind of feel like using it out of like a flight case or something, probably the best way for me. So I would go with something like this, Magma or Pro X, Odyssey, one of those brands, but this is just what was available to me, so this is what I chose. But this definitely works, and that's my recommendation for case solution. It all depends on what you're trying to do. I've definitely seen some people build it into different types of flight cases, which makes sense completely. For me, I'd probably just use it in something like this. All right, everybody, how'd you enjoy it? I know I had a good time putting it together. I hope you enjoyed it. But that was our Prime Go review. I want to give you some final thoughts, talk about some pros, talk about some cons, and kind of give you an idea of, is this thing worth it? Is it worth you buying? Is it something viable? Does it make sense? So some of the pros, obviously, it's the world's first battery powered DJ controller. So, I mean, enough said with that. That just opens up the world of possibilities for you. So I really love the compact size of it. It's very, very portable. Only weighs about 8 pounds. You know, it's got the battery life, which was more than what they told us it was going to be, which I loved. And you have the ability also to plug it in and let it run and do its own thing. So that's another thing that I love about it. You can use it with the battery, you can use it without the battery. You're not locked into either or. And for me, I think the most important thing, and the thing that I love the most about it, is the fact that it's a self-sustaining system. Battery, computer, software, everything built into it. All you need to provide is a USB thumb drive or an SD card. Put that music in there and you can DJ. You don't have to futz around with a laptop, with any other additional software. Everything is integrated, built in, very convenient, easy to set up, obviously, because it's really just turn it on. It's a definition of plug and play. So that I do love about it. So what don't I like about it? What I don't like about it, I'll be perfectly honest with you, is the price. I did think for, I do think that it could be maybe a little bit less expensive. Now, listen, I'm not in manufacturing. I can't tell you how they came to the $9.99 price point. And I'm not saying it's not worth it. I think it is. I just would have liked to have seen it come in a little bit less expensive. And I'm sure if you negotiate with your dealer, you probably can get it for less than $1,000. But that was the first thing I'd say. I would have tried to keep the thing a little bit less expensive, but you know, hey, that's me. I'm not Denon DJ, and it's nothing against them. They have their cost, and obviously these things have a cost involved. I know the battery alone probably runs $250. So anyway, that's just maybe my wish, my dreams, that it could have been less, but it is what it is. The other thing that I would say is, as you saw earlier in the video, the lens, the display is very difficult to see in the daytime, where many people are going to be using this. So keep that in mind. You definitely want to get some sort of anti-reflection system to put over that. I think that will definitely help you. And that was another negative that I saw. And the only other thing I would say is make sure you take your USBs out because it does kind of jut out here. So if you're messing with it, if you have it behind in a case, if you're moving it around, it does seem to kind of have a lot of play here. So that's the only other thing I would say keep an eye on, and something that I wasn't crazy about. But overall, I really like it. This is solid metal. This is not flimsy. It has weight to it. It doesn't feel like a toy like you would think that it would. It really does feel like a professional, full-featured, uncompromised DJ controller. So overall, it's a must-have for DJs and performers. It's definitely something that I'm very happy to have picked up, and something that I'm going to be using on my reviews and demos, and like I said, family parties, friends parties. I'm going to be bringing this thing all over the place. So, it makes the mobile DJing part that more mobile. So, gotta love it, right? Anyway, those are my feelings on it, but is it worth buying? I think it definitely is. Great job by Denon DJ, great innovation, and really put together well. I have, other than those few negatives, I think it's a great product. Okay, so we have a battery-powered DJ controller. So what doors does that open up for us? The obvious first instinct people always go to as DJs is ceremony, cocktail, perfect ceremony system, perfect cocktail system, and I totally agree with that because it has all the outputs. It has two microphone inputs. It has the battery. It is super convenient and literally built for something like that. But looking outside of that box of obvious application, what else could we use it for? What else would make it convenient? As I mentioned to you earlier, if you're watching this and you've never bought a DJ controller before, to me this is a great entry level into DJ controllers because, again, being a standalone system with software and basically a computer built into it, you don't need to buy anything else. So you purchase this and you have music and you're good to go. So a starter controller, Prime Go, definitely makes sense to me because, again, it's not just a battery-powered controller. You can plug it in and you can use it for a full, 8, 12, whatever amount of time you're looking to DJ. Some other things that I thought were really cool about it for me were, I have a main controller here. I have another controller that we have for multiple setups as well. But, I get asked to DJ a lot of friends' parties. I like to DJ up in the upstairs of my house, bring to a family function, different things like that. And I have to tell you, it's kind of annoying to have to bring out the bigger controllers. So for me as a DJ, no matter where I go, whether I'm working or not, I think it's actually really cool and fun to now have something that I can actually bring with me to these family functions and actually DJ instead of just playing music off my Spotify or the DJ app or something like that. I actually have something I can put my hands on and have a little bit more fun with it as opposed to what I normally do. So that aspect of it I love, and there's really just a whole plethora of things that you can do with this, and not just as a DJ, but if you're in event services, if you're in any type of corporate, anything like that where you have any need for a PA system and music being played where convenience and power are an issue, this is, again, something that you can use in the corporate world. There's so many different uses for it, and I just have to say that not only was I blown away when I first heard about it, but being able to have my hands on it and now I've used it for a little while, I'm still really very impressed with it, and I think it's such a viable item, especially as we go forward in this new world that we're living in 2021 and beyond. So Prime Go, so many applications, really the sky is the limit. Okay, everybody, so that is our review of the Denon DJ Prime Go. We hope that you enjoyed it. We hope that you learned something today. Of course, as always, if you have any questions, drop them down in the comment section below. If you like this video, please give it a like. And if you enjoy our content, if you want to see what we have coming in the future, because I promise you there's going to be a lot, subscribe to our page here and check us out at thedjsguru.com. Always new stuff on our blog as well. So definitely check us out. We appreciate all the support. We're here to help DJs. That's our mission, and that's what we're going to do. So as always, I'm Justin Schwartz. I will see you guys on the flip side. Thanks for watching.